My ophthalmologist watched my exam last year and was silent for about 10 seconds. Then he turned to me and asked, "Are you sure you're 91?" I am, and I also have an answer he wasn't expecting. The eye is a mirror. It ages along with your circulatory system, your level of chronic inflammation, the quality of your cell membrane. And that's exactly where these two feelings come in, not as a trendy superfood, but as real biological support for structures that sustain your vision for decades. Before continuing, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching this from? I want to know where the people who still truly care about their own health come from. The first seed almost nobody associates with the eyes. Everyone knows flaxseed, but very few people know the difference between common brown flaxseed and golden flaxseed, and that difference matters a great deal when it comes to eye health. Golden flaxseed has a higher concentration of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which is the plant-based precursor to omega-3. And here's the point almost nobody talks about. The retina is one of the tissues with the highest concentration of DHA, an essential fatty acid, in the entire human body. When the body doesn't have enough raw material to replenish this structural fat in the retina, the degeneration process accelerates, and it accelerates silently because you'll only notice when the loss is already significant. Golden flaxseed gives the body the precursor it uses to synthesize this protective fat. It's not a miracle. It's cellular nutrition applied to a tissue that is normally ignored until it's too late. But there's a crucial detail that few people mention. Flaxseed needs to be consumed freshly ground. The whole seed passes through the digestive tract without releasing its compounds, and ground in advance, it oxidizes and loses potency. The ideal is to grind it fresh, in small amounts. I consume 1 tablespoon of freshly ground golden flaxseed every morning, mixed into something that isn't hot, because heat destroys part of its active compounds. Simple as that. No drama, no complicated protocol. The second seed is the one that surprised me most when I understood its real mechanism. Pumpkin seed is mainly known for prostate health. That dominates every conversation around it. But there's another dimension of this seed that stays completely in the shadow: its role in regulating intraocular pressure. Glaucoma, one of the leading causes of irreversible vision loss, is frequently associated with increased pressure inside the eye. And one of the factors that contributes to this increase is a deficiency of bioavailable zinc and magnesium. Pumpkin seed is one of the most dense plant-based sources of real zinc, not synthetic zinc, not an artificial chelate, but zinc inside a complex biological matrix with the cofactors that facilitate its absorption. Beyond that, it contains lutein and zeaxanthin in amounts that surprise ocular nutrition researchers. These two carotenoids are the primary protective pigments of the macula, the central region of the retina responsible for the sharpness of your vision. What almost nobody talks about: the concentration of these compounds in pumpkin seed changes dramatically depending on how you consume it. The version roasted at high temperatures loses a significant portion of its biological activity. The raw or lightly dehydrated version preserves much more. And here's something that intrigues me even further. There is research published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry that observed a correlation between regular consumption of raw pumpkin seeds and the reduction of specific inflammatory markers in ocular fluid. It wasn't a large study, but it was specific enough to draw attention. Tell me in the comments, were you already consuming pumpkin seeds? The right way or the way most people do? This is the one I consider the most underestimated, and the one with the most interesting research behind it. Black grape seed, not the industrialized extract, not the capsule supplement, but the real seed consumed from inside the grape, contains a class of compounds called oligomeric proanthocyanidins, or OPCs. These compounds have a characteristic that is rare in the plant kingdom. They cross the blood-retinal barrier. That means they actually reach the retinal tissue, the optic nerve, and the microvessels that irrigate the ocular structure, which are extremely delicate and extremely sensitive to oxidation. Ocular vascular health is the topic that appears least in conversations about vision. Everyone talks about retinal nutrition, protection against blue light, lutein and zeaxanthin, but the blood supply to ocular tissues, which depends on microscopic caliber vessels, is rarely mentioned, and that's exactly where black grapeseed acts. OPCs strengthen capillary walls, reduce pathological vascular permeability, and have an antioxidant action that, according to French studies from the 1990s, which were pioneers in this field, is significantly more potent than vitamin E in certain tissues. More recent Japanese researchers also documented improvements in visual contrast sensitivity in older adults who consumed grapeseed extract for 8 weeks. Contrast sensitivity is exactly what declines with age, the difficulty distinguishing details in low-light environments, the vision that becomes washed out. How to consume it? I simply chew the seeds when I eat grapes, slowly, mindfully, without swallowing them whole. The characteristic bitterness you feel is precisely the presence of the proanthocyanidins. If the seed has no bitterness, it has no active compound. What these 3 seeds have in common is not magic. It's a simple biological logic. The eye ages the same way the rest of the body does, through chronic inflammation, cellular oxidation, failure of vascular supply, and lack of raw material for structural maintenance. Most people wait for a symptom before acting. They wait for the reading difficulty, the blurred vision, the cataract or macular degeneration diagnosis. Then they go looking for a solution. But physiology doesn't work that way. Maintenance comes first, and seeds, foods that nature designed to carry enough concentrated nutrition to generate life, are one of the most dense forms of cellular support that exist. It's not about eating seeds because it's trendy. It's about understanding what your ocular tissue needs to keep functioning well for decades and providing that consistently, simply, daily. Now tell me, what state or country are you watching this video from? Write it down below, just the location. I want to see where the people who still take their eye health seriously are coming from. And if this content surprised you at any point, if there was something here you had never heard before, tell me which of the 3 surprised you most: the golden flaxseed, the pumpkin seed, or the black grape seed.